Give everybody a second. I don't know if y'all sleep or not. But we about to have a good one in a second. Give me a minute, man. Let me get a couple things situated. Just made it back. Just made it back. Tap in, all my brothers and sisters. We can have a little conversation as we sit back and relax. Peace, 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 peace to everybody. I'm kind of multitasking, man. I've been out ripping and running today. And like I'm on Facebook as well, and I ask a lot of questions to my brothers and sisters about what's going on in the world today. What'd he say? Oh, okay. Peace, Noble. But yeah, man. I'm in Flint, Michigan, man, which is an area where a lot of brothers, especially melanated black, misnomer black people, the income rate and stuff is at a certain percentage that's so low. But once again, I always ask my brothers and sisters, and now I'm going to this level because I already talked to my Republican people. I mean my Democratic brothers and sisters. So now I'm talking to my Republican brothers and sisters, and I asked them, what have swayed you to vote for Donald Trump? And please don't say no damn PPP loan or no cheap ass stimulus check, because Donald Trump didn't give nan Negro no stimulus check. And when Negroes be saying, oh, they was getting money when when Trump was in office, what money was you getting that you ain't getting today? What money, when they say, oh man, when Trump was in office, we was getting money, or this now, what money were you getting that you getting less of now? When? Because if you working on a job and you working, the president don't have nothing to do with your income. So when I hear brothers say, man, when Trump was in office, we was getting money. Who is we? Who is we? When I hear Negroes from the hood or ain't never graduated from college or not CEOs and companies and things, and they from the hood and they talk this stupid stuff like, oh man, when Trump was in office, we was getting money because Trump gave us a PPP loan and a stimulus check. Trump ain't give no retired Negro no stimulus check or no PPP loan. That ain't got nothing to do with no Donald Trump. I don't give a damn if Donald Duck was the president in that time. Donald Duck's name would be on the check. Why? Because Donald Duck would be the president at that time. That's government money that the federal government just print because it ain't nothing but damn paper. And it ain't backed by nothing. So the U.S. can always print some goddamn money. If they own the Federal Reserve, that don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. So, like I tell my misnomer black brothers and sisters that vote, and I say, do y'all know what the electoral colleges consist of? Especially for my brothers that's voting. I don't have a dog in the fight, so I don't want nobody jumping on here talking that, oh, this, that, and the other. I vote for law and policy. But I'm talking to my brothers and sisters, I've been not hired, but I've been talking to my Democratic people when they say, well, we black and this, and I say, I ain't black. And I say, what's the Democratic so-called black agenda? They can't give you none. And then I ask my brothers, that's voting for Donald Trump, and I said, what law and policy that you like for Trump? Because the average Negro that I know voted for Trump, especially in the city of Flint, they ain't even close to six figures. Most Negroes that I know in the city of Flint that say they voted for Trump is a whole bunch of Negroes that don't like misnomer black women. Or a whole bunch of Negroes that don't want to see a woman in charge. Or that's how they feel about women in general. They feel like that about a woman being a supervisor. But I asked a Negro like this. If your supervisor was the Klan member, would you still work? Yep. So I want the best person, and neither one of them is best to me. I just be waiting to have conversations with my people, especially the misnomer black people that's from my city of Flint, Michigan, that's voting Republican, especially these street Negroes that's voting Republican. Donald Trump will lock your goofy ass up. They say, well, he got people out of jail. I understand that, but what I'm telling you is, tell me the law and policy that swayed you to vote for Donald Trump. Can't even, you can't even comprehend that. You can't even, you don't even know why. And then if you're a Democrat, tell me, then one, if you are more or anyone, and then you voting that black stuff, you clearly lost, because we should be voting for law and policy. We should be voting for who we are, because the law still stands, and according to science and law, black is silver mortis, dead in the eyes of the law. So remember, black has no standing in law. So when Biden said you ain't black if you don't vote for me, what? So he's saying, so pretty much you saying a slave or dead, because you put dead and replace it for everything that's black. Biden said you ain't dead if you don't vote for me. So he's saying you a dead person. Black has no standing in law. The Dred Scott law was never abolished. So the flip side of this, I talk to my brothers, especially my so-called homeboys from the hood that's voting for Donald Trump, and they talk that stupid shit talking about, oh, well, Donald Trump gave us a PPP loan. Donald Trump gave us a stimulus check. So you on welfare. That's what you Negroes want. You want welfare. You want Section 8. You want somebody to give you something. You want cheap ass housing. You want to be judged in the same parameters as an alien, per se. Or as a person that came over here on a boat like a slave. You don't want an equal playing field. You don't want an equal playing field. You want somebody to give you something. So if the government give you something, that means the government your daddy, and you got to abide by the government rules. When a woman gets Section 8 and welfare, it's contingent on you abiding by the rules. When a woman get that Section 8 and all that, and that cheap housing, that means the man can't be there. We ain't never had no problem in our culture that a woman in power. Never. And when I talk about history, when I talk about Empress Nani and the Jamaican Maroons, when I talk about our Ashanti warriors, when I talk about our noble women, hell, even in the biblical scriptures, when the Messiah was tarrying and the Negro wanted to hold the bag, to spend all the money up, and he was like, why you got the woman holding the bag? Cause, Negro, the woman know this money, we got to use this because we tarrying. We might have to buy this, not, and the other. A Negro would just spend the money up. I mean, but Negroes, we so against each other, which the powers that be want us to do, that we can't even see, no disrespect again, we can't even see a woman, no matter what it is, in power. It's just like Southern Baptist churches. Them Negroes so chauvinist and believe that Albion, that European shit, that you can't even see a woman in the pulpit per se. Why? But the woman was the first one to preach the gospel. These is facts. That's why black preachers don't want to talk about Ruth the Moabitess, Mary Magdalene, and all those people that said he was risen, and all those women that not only taught women, but taught whole communities. That's why I said the world is messed up, man. The world is messed up. That retarded Negro to say, oh, you will vote for a person that clearly will step on your neck and say, well, this, not, and the other. And I say, give me some law and policy. Only thing I hear Negroes talk about is some PPP loan. And I say, if you ain't had no real business, if you ain't have no real organization that was affected by that, you ain't got no PPP loan. The only way you got a PPP loan, and if you ain't have no real business, if you committed fraud. And I already got the list of brothers that created fraud that's getting ready to go to prison. I'll be waiting for Negroes to say something. I call them all out by name. By name. And that's sad in our community that we have people that look like you to show you how to commit fraud, to show you how to defraud the government and end up going to jail. And then what you gonna do? You're gonna get a court-appointed attorney and you're gonna plead to a lesser charge. Y'all gotta understand this. I'm gonna go off topic a little bit, but I'm gonna get right back on topic. I'm using this for a speaking point. Watch this when Negroes don't know what they talking about. Like Young Thug right now. Everybody like, ooh, Young Thug beat his case. Young Thug ain't beat no damn case. Young Thug pleaded to a lesser charge, something that I would have done if I was his legal advisor. I would have said, you done been in jail this time, let me finish this little couple months out. It might be 3 more months, and you finna get out this like case dismissed. He got out on damn near 20 years probation. Man, that's a setup. The prosecutor, they just wanted a conviction. That's why I said, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. If I done been in jail, more months means something to me and I can get out with no probation, no nothing, no parole, I'm sitting my punk ass down. Understand what I'm saying, y'all? Then I asked brothers, what's the last book that you read that means something? Do you know Law and Policy? Do you know the 13th, the 14th, the 15th Amendment? Do you know what the electoral colleges consist of? Hell, do you know etymology? No. What we get our information off of, the internet. The internet. I told y'all, be damned if you don't and be damned if you do for misnomer black people, because misnomer black people don't know what the hell they doing. They don't know if they coming or going. We can't come together for a cause. We don't even know who we are. And I broke this down. You can fact check everything. Like I tell people, Moors, Berbers, Amazigh, A-M-A-Z-I-G-H, also known by their endonym, E-N-D-O-N-Y-M. So then you got a magazine, I-M-A-Z-I-G-H-E-N. It means free men. It means free men. Research what I'm telling you. We were free men. I don't give a damn if you a Negro, black, and colored, Freemason or nothing, you still a slave. When you identify black and all this, people make choices for you. I don't care what political party you with, that don't mean nothing to me. Then black people say, well, at one point we were Republican. I understand that. What about today? See, we got to be current on everything. And I always tell Moors this too. Stop coming with all that old school, excuse my candor, I got to say how I want to say it. Stop coming to me with that old school shit. With some, in the first, we ain't in that no more. We don't deal with rotary phones no more. We got fucking cell phones. So you get with the times. Get with the laws. It ain't no special law for no so-called Moor. What's the Moorish law? There ain't none. The law clearly states if a U.S. citizen kills a Moor, or if a Moor kill a U.S. citizen, that Moor is going to be judged in the same parameters as the U.S. citizen. And that's the consular courts. And if you don't want to listen to me, oh freaking well. Because these goofy Moors think it's some special law that they can file to get out of jail. I can't vote for no one that, okay, just like if I'm a certain party and the people that support me is racist and they put the money behind me. My initiative it has to be some of the stuff that they rocking with. Why? Because they putting the money behind me. And so then when I be asking misnomer these smart Negroes that think they know something, and when they say they vote for Trump, and I ask these misnomer black people, have y'all ever read Project 2025? Not nothing off the internet that people just talk about. Have you read it? Did you download it and did you read it? And then if you read Project 2025, then you know that's old, and you know that it's come from, because it's just titled Project 2025. That's old. It's like repackaging. It's like you a company and you rebranding, the item in the package is still the same. You just change the title or or change the design on the package. The same thing is inside the package. I asked everybody, do they know what the electoral colleges consist of? I asked every Negro on my page, do you know what the electoral colleges consist of? No, they don't. If you do, get on here and talk about it. Come go on here and say, put me on. Talk to me about it. I know the average Negro don't read shit. Excuse my candor. We watch Love and Hip Hop. And I ain't finna stand in no line to do this. You were standing in the line for the club. I know the average black man and woman don't read shit. And if I'm wrong, fact check me. What you read in the last couple of weeks, that means something. What have you researched on this political thing when you vote Democrat or Republican? What do you know? What law and policy do you know? My Democratic people, what's the so-called black Democratic agenda? And then for my misnomer black people that voted for Trump, that talk that stuff, oh, I can't see no women in office, and talk about the other world ain't gonna respect the United States with a woman at the president. Well, let me fact check you again, retired Negro. It's a whole bunch of countries that had women leads. Research it. Our culture, we always had women. The Ashanti warriors, Empress Nani of the Jamaican Maroons, the Sibyls. I be telling y'all empresses, that's why a lot of, and then y'all women that's powerful, you lose all your powerful when you're dealing with a sucker ass nigga because you just want some penis. Your power, you should be dealing with a spiritual man. When I talk about the Sibyls is what the goddamn Catholic Church hid. Those were the seers. Who? The women, the Sibyls. In the Bible, what do they call wisdom? Sophia. The female counterpart, Sophia. In the Bible, wisdom is Sophia. And it fall on deaf ears. Let's play devil's advocate. At one part of history, our women will go to work and educate themselves and learn and read, while the man will go and just work to make money. Most men are not intellectuals. Period. Most men are not intellectuals. Just like Du Bois said, it is a such thing as the talented tenth. It is a certain people that should change the world. The ones that we know that's anointed and consecrated and educated. I'll wait because everybody voted today, and if you didn't, why didn't you vote? You can cast your vote as a free person. It's millages on there. It's other laws, there's other things on there. Just like in the state of Arizona and Flint, marijuana was illegal. It wasn't recreational at one point. It wasn't medical. Right now in Florida, marijuana is not recreational or medical. It's not. And so here it is. If it's on the ballot, on a certain ballot, and Negro don't know that, and you got a whole bunch of people in a certain area that smoke or whatever, and you ain't gonna vote, you ain't gonna flex your right as an American to vote for certain law and policy, you a fool. I ask every Negro, because I'm talking to you directly, misnomer black person, if the laws didn't work, how was marijuana illegal in the state of Arizona and now it's legal? How? How at one point in the state of Arizona, you only can buy a certain amount. Now in Arizona, you can go to the dispensary the same day, back to back to back to back, and buy as much as you want. And whatever you can get at that time, if you can get a couple ounces, you can leave, wait a couple minutes, go right back, get the same thing, get the same thing, get the same thing. And you tell me the laws don't work? You a fool. We a nation of laws. What real person with any sense want a whole world of anarchy where there ain't no rules, that is just a free all, the strong survive? It a lot of people to be over. A person just say, oh, well, I use analogy. A person to be waiting at the store. Whoever pull up, I'm jacking their ass. That means nobody be able to go to the stores. Nobody be able to do nothing. Imagine a whole bunch of people with these goofy ass, retarded ass nigga Moors talk about they some sovereign citizens and they don't have to have license and insurance, and you got a whole bunch of uninsured drivers on the highway, and here one of these goofy ass, I'm saying it just like this, niggas crash into you on the highway. or one of these goofy ass niggas, I'm saying it like that, get into an accident, somebody hit them, and then they're gonna try to use the same laws that they don't abide by to try to sue somebody. Look at the audacity of that. Do you understand what I be saying? I be like, this is the crazy world that we live in. This is the crazy world that we live in, man. To where you live in a world you could hear a preacher say, well, if you educated and they go against a blind faith, go with blind faith. That is the craziest shit in the world. Because the Bible says, if anything, seek wisdom. Wisdom is understanding. Wisdom is understanding. Wisdom ain't no dumb stuff. That's why I be telling misnomer black people, oh, what, you don't like your mama? You don't like your wife? Oh, if your wife had power that's educated, you ain't educated, you mad. Your wife was CEO, you mad. And your testosterone, your ego is so on a level that you can't even be strong. You don't even know how to be strong. Sad day we live in. That's what social media and the world have done to us. Look at social media and everything. It got the misnomer black man and the misnomer black woman fighting against each other. Look at it. You only got a certain example of our women. You got a whole bunch of young women dressed like hoes, and then you got a whole bunch of old women on Halloween dressed like hoes. You got a whole bunch of old, excuse my candor, you got a whole bunch of old Negroes acting like they gangsters, and you got a whole bunch of old niggas that didn't do the things that they wanted to do, and they see the young dudes doing it, and these old gray beard Negroes with these young rapping dudes, and instead of giving them game and being solid, you gonna fall submissive to these young dudes. Why? Because they popular, and you think you can get something from them. You ain't nothing but a bloodsucker too. Think about the psychosis of what I'm saying, y'all. When people be talking that white man shit, black man, don't no white man have enough power today and no other time to do nothing to you. It's what you allow. The only people that can bring harm to you and trick you is a person that look like you. Those are the only people that can trick you and infiltrate you. Why? Because they look like you. Anybody else, you see their ass coming. Think about this, what I'm saying. I ask all my misnomer black people, I be just on both sides because I don't have a dog in a fight. It's just like if they say, okay, judge this. I have to be a righteous judge off the facts. Just like if I was defending you in a court of law and I say, give me all the facts. And then we start going to court and we start volleying, and then other stuff started coming out, and you want to tell me all this, I'm dropping you. Why? Because I need all the information to defend you in your best interest. I have your best interest. I need all the information. How? To be able to make a righteous decision and build my case. Understand this. Why we don't want to be righteous, why we don't want to be all the way right. I tell misnomer black people that don't know law and don't know nothing, you can always get an example made out of you. I don't care how much money you have. Why? Because you don't supposed to be doing that. It's illegal to make examples out of you. Precedent law cases, doc number, Free Information Act. You're going to judge my client in the parameters of the law. In the precedent, you're not going to make an example out of nobody because it ain't too many things that haven't happened in life. It's nothing new under the sun. So you're not going to make an example out of my client. The only people that get examples made out of is nigga slaves. Excuse my candor. Why? Because you don't have no rights according to law. Why? Because according to law, black means death. Silva mortis. That's why you get, and we're going to make an example out of him. And you hear judge, oh, they made an example out of him. That's not legal. That's not legal genre. Judges don't have the free for all. We talk, it's precedent in law cases, doc numbers, and Free Information Act. Judge, you're going to judge this in the parameters of the law, in the precedent, for the record, especially if stuff was happening in your courthouse. Come on now. All this is tied in to our mind frame and how we think and how we view each other. Just like my homie, other day we were talking about companies, and he was like, "Sheik," he was like, "I don't know." He said, "I can't name 10 multimillionaire companies that seek out educated brothers like myself and you, Sheik." He was like, "I don't know that many." I said, "Me neither." I said, "I don't know no black businesses that seek out college educated brothers and sisters in the community. I don't know none. I don't know none." But I do know, and I ain't gonna say names, misnomer black people that have positions and they don't help people. See, let me tell you what I know. Because see, my dad, Larry Goodman, Bay, and if you don't know my dad was the executive director of Genesee County. So anybody that need Section 8 welfare, my dad helped you. And when you think about it, you be like, damn, that dude look like she. Yeah, that's my dad. My dad hired people in the neighborhood. My homegirl Tracy, all the homegirls in the neighborhood that went to school, and if the job said you had to have an associate's or these college credits, my dad hired you. My dad. My dad hired me when I was in my lower self. My mother, Inez Goodman Bay. I lived on West Patterson Street in the hood. I saw my mother and my dad, we owned the house, we stayed right on the corner. And then the house right next to it, my dad bought the house for my mom, turned it to her day. Well, no, we moved into that house, and the house we stayed in, the corner house on Patterson, that was my mother's daycare. I saw my mother hire a whole bunch of the girls in our neighborhood to work. My mother hired me. That's why I got a soft spot and I know how to work with all kids. I don't care what level of mental challenges you have. I was dealing with kids like that at a young age. That's why I'm educated on autism, dyslexia, ADHD. That's part of my profession. That's part of my profession. And I'm not tooting my horn. I'm just telling my brothers and sisters it's what it is. Then look, my homeboy, like, I got my other phone up. I got 3 phones up. My other homeboy, like, Sheik, you should have been run viral. He was like, people have been following you for years. He was like, remember that time we was live and the brother like, Sheik, I've been following you for 5 years. And my homeboy said, well, why you don't support? He was like, I done wrote 20 books. I gathered and compiled 20 books. We have a company, mypdfbooks.com, that's books with the Z, where I gather, compile, and divinely prepared not only my books, but ancient books that cost thousands and hundreds and thousands of dollars. I converted to PDF. So you can download on your tablet for a fraction of the price of what it costs on Amazon. And a lot of the stuff that I have, Amazon don't have it. I have ancient books that I converted to PDF and printed and bind it. I like a book called Russian Icon by Vladimir Ivanov. Look on Amazon and tell me how much that book costs. Golden Age of the Moors. Tavistock Institution of Human Engineering might not be that expensive no more, but they had that book for about 4 bands on Amazon. I got books that's probably ain't available on Amazon. I researched a book called Atlantis of Latter Days, and the European Mason called itself El Elyon, and it's all the Osiris mysteries. That book probably unavailable. It's a book called Melanin, the chemical key to black greatness by Dr. I think it's Carl Burns. Tell me how much that book costs. Stacks. I have them all for you. I have a full library with over 1 million books and documents. And this ain't me just capping. This is me in my academic endeavors. Getting my bachelor's degree and my master's degree, I used to live in a library. The janitor used to have to put me out the library. If my empress on here, she'd tell you like, man, this boy used to stay in the library all day. And then when I found out that a lot of my professors was, when they were older and they were passing, a lot of their kids didn't want a lot of the ancient books and manuscripts that they had. So a lot of times they just donate it to the Goodwill, and the Goodwill will just have them on the racks. So they started donating stuff to me. But once I knew that, I used to go to all the Goodwills, and I know how to research books, and then I just research them on Amazon and see how much they cost. I was getting ancient books and commentaries for like 50 cents. On every other Saturday at the Goodwill, they be having like, I think it'd be like 50 cents or whatever, whatever. Man, that's how I build my library, and I just research a lot of commentaries and dictionaries. I got probably every dictionary, every commentary, every etymology book, metaphysical dictionary. I call those commentaries. I got all the encyclopedias. I have all the Jewish documents. When the European will tell you who they are, and they Jewish encyclopedia, I ain't no slander. That's why no European Jew can say nothing to me of like I'm coming from no racist perspective, because I use their science to tell you exactly what they call themselves. From their documents, I jump all in the Sephirots and be matter factual. And then when you hear brothers be talking about other religious stuff like the Mormon, I jump all in the Book of the Mormon, because I have the Book of Mormon. I study it. I show you, you all in the Book of Mormon. You all in the Book of Mormon, and you don't even know it. These is facts. These is facts. And so I just wanted to, when I be building on things, the Holy Spirit, I just have to do what the Holy Spirit say, and be like, hey man, this is what it is. But then when I get back to the, how can I say, subtopic or the main topic, which is the politricks, aka politics, like I said, today is the election day. So when we cast in our vote, it's just like when we think we purchasing a house, and those are two of the biggest things that you can do with your name. Do you clearly understand both parties if you're voting for a particular, or how can I say, a specific party? Do you know the law and policy clearly that that individual or that candidate represent? If you don't, then I think you should get familiar with that. And that's on both sides of the coin. Because remember, as an educator, if I was teaching your child, you would want me to teach your child both so they can make a sound decision, not be biased based on my nationality or their nationality. I'm a teacher. I'm going to teach you what's right and let your heart deal with it. I have to teach from a perspective where I can't be biased. And when you're dealing with science and mathematics, it cannot be biased. When you're dealing with creation, it cannot be biased. It's not, because the Creator creates. If it wasn't history and law and all these and etc., how do I know it? I didn't just wake up and say, boom, all this stuff I just memorized from a dream. It comes back to my memory as I study and contemplate, But it comes from a study. And the study is a life. And so once again, when I deal with this political realm of things, oh, it's raining. Yeah. I asked all my brothers, especially the misnomer black brothers, because there's a lot of brothers voted for Donald Trump. It's a lot of brothers that voted for Donald Trump. When I say a lot, it's a lot. It's a lot. I know a lot of street dudes voted for Donald Trump. I know a lot of people be saying, man, when Donald Trump was offered, man, we would get money. And I say, what do you mean? Well, we would get money then. Then they talk about things that's really don't matter to me. They say, man, gas was cheap. I don't give a damn about no gas being cheap. If you doing business and you ain't just ripping and running, that's just a part of business. That's just a part of your expense. I'm an adult and a businessman. That's number one. I ain't getting no PPP loan, and I got real businesses, and I have a real organization. I can be honest and say I didn't know the ins and outs of that during that time. and I had other things going on. I was like, well, I don't need that. I wouldn't affect it because I always use the internet as well. And when I had my physical building in Arizona, people that know me, I was coming out of my pocket. If it's anybody on here that know me, they know when I first came to Arizona, I'm a minister, a divine minister. I used to rent a whole middle school. If anybody on here, they know me on Facebook or I'm on YouTube. If anybody was in Arizona, you know I'm telling the truth, especially if you from Flint. Because if you was from Flint, then you know me from being all my walks of life in ministry as I've grown and developed. And I spoke the same in the so-called houses that most of our people be. My message didn't change, never did. Just like I be telling people about the teachings in first century and history. When I be showing people real history, I said, I can connect myself and you can connect yourself, and I'm just saying that as a speaking point, to the biblical scriptures and history. All the priests were Asiatic, but a lot of us haven't just studied scholarship. All the monuments and things I can show you. Even in the biblical scripture, when Paul was on the road to Damascus, and then they already had the god Artemis, and then they tried to change it, no disrespect to no one, they tried to change the figure god Artemis, the Asiatic, the copper color with all the breasts, to pale. No disrespect. And I can show you all of them were in history when we say this was somebody else's, never was. And that's why we disconnect ourselves from things. And the biblical scriptures tell us that my people are lost. No, are destroyed. What's that? Hosea 4:6 says, my people are destroyed due to a lack of knowledge. Why? Because we refuse to learn what? Who we are. So once again, this all boils back to who we are as a people. We can't even agree to who we are as a people. We can't even to agree on an agenda. If people say we so-called black people and so-called black people do this, I say, okay, well, do some simple research for me, please. Anybody that's on here. Look up what does civil mortis mean, and then tell me, according to science and law. And then answer yes or no. Is black an adjective? Yes or no? Is black an adjective? Yes or no? Simple research. I said according to science and law. Your freedom is connected what? To law. According to science and law, black means deaf. Am I right about that? Am I right about that? So if that's the case, according to science and law, if black means deaf, why would you go in any arena identifying as a default? Because according to science and law, black means deaf. Negro, black, and color, African American are all misnomers. These is facts. These are facts. According to science and law, black means deaf. Negro, black, and color, African American are all misnomers. Am I right about it? Am I right about it? Black was never used to describe ethnicity in the first century. When the word black was used, it was to describe when in the theater, when the black curtain have come down. So when we talk about we black and we do this, and we can have a political fight, I just broke it down for you. You can't really have a black agenda. Why? Because according to science and law, black means death, civil mortis. So that's why, for the record, you must understand that we should have a nationality, a race, a status. We should have something that brings us back into the family of nations. The Dred Scott Law was never abolished. We have to really, really start having a conversation to get kind of current on some things. Not to be upset because the world already knows this, but for us as a people to walk out synchronized. Because no one is stripping no one of their culture. I just told, if a person is really understand that they're Moorish and they understand the tasawwuf and the Sufiness and understand that man is made in the image of the Creator and that the only place is to find God, Allah, etc., Yahweh is in the heart, then you have to know this, that we're from the tribe of Judah, lineage of David by blood. That's biblical. We don't diss the biblical scriptures. I'm under the triple rose. I respect all the three monotheisms, or the so-called three religious rites: the Paraclete, the Fatimid, and the Jerusalem, aka the Christian, etc. Come on now. And so when we being specific, now not only on more science, I'm talking about voting and knowing who we are. I just broke some things down that should have been very clear. You should have been like, man, some things now should be turning. Remember when Biden was running for the president, he said, you ain't black if you don't vote for me? Didn't Biden say that? Biden said, you ain't black if you don't vote for me. Did he say that talking to Charlemagne and God? I think he did. If I'm not mistaken, I'm sure he did. Okay, so, but I just broke down something that I don't care what religion you are. That's why I be telling misnomer black people, we have to really agree to some things. We can't let man-made religion keep us so separate. We can't be so pro-black that we can't even listen. Because I hear pro-black people, when they talk about, they talk just as bad as Kamala as they do Trump. So if that's the case, if you feel like that, which I say, okay, like I said, I don't have a dog in a race, you know. So if that's the case, what should we be talking about then? If that's the case, as free men, because we are free men, we should be casting our cares in the world. That's what being a true 5%er consists of. So if that's the case, our conversation should be on what? Nationality and spirituality. We are what our foremothers and forefathers are, without a doubt. I sit here and tell you I'm from the tribe of Judah, lineage of David by blood. Every Moor should tell you that. If not, then I don't know what they're studying. We just don't know who we are still. And that's okay. That's like when people jump on my page and they be just want to be trolls, I just block them. But then people that know me, I said, come on now, man. You've been following me this long ago. You know, we got to start doing something for real. I mean, I've written too much literature. I have too much information, you know, not for a lot of people not to get and then change the whole world. Somebody can be like, man, I need to create me a podcast, have this brother on here, because this will go here. It'll be all because of you. I mean, that's what I talk about, teams and just taking advantage of opportunity and having these conversations where it's a safe place. Because we would think a person know something, but then a lot of times, why would they know it? They may want to know, They may want to assume, but sometimes our people just don't know where to look. And that's what it takes. Where a person that say, man, oh, I don't would say a person say, man, they went educated themselves, learn all the tricks of the trade, learn how the true art of war is learning how somebody think. They went and did that, mastered themselves, this, not, and the other. And then they don't leave and just be rich and be in the faces of how can I say blue collar. They say, man, you not only I can do that, but I want to be able to come back and not only teach my people, my people that's in my age group, but give them the skills and the keys to teach their people their age and their babies, and we can come together, you know, and do things grouply and change our community. It's so much to go with this. Like I said, what do people think was going on in temples in ancient times? These are the times where we should know exactly what we're doing when we casting the vote. We shouldn't just be on the internet with a sticker on say, I voted and smiling, or if you are more and you don't. And then the next question I ask you, where you live, you would give me your address. So I say, you live on the street? Yep. Okay. Do you live in the community? Yep. Do you own your house? Yes or no? If you don't own your house, do you rent? Yep. Do you own it? Maybe. What you mean own it? Do you pay taxes? Yep. So what are we talking about? You're not going to do this and you're not going to do that. What are we talking about? I tell people I never take note of my people and no burn the house. I'm never going to teach nobody something or even talk about something that's going to get somebody locked up. We don't use our brothers and sisters as no crash dummies to see what could happen. And this is what I talk about with the politics and things. I never tell nobody what to do. What I say, when you doing these things or making these choices, I hope you know all the ins and outs of what's going on and the ramifications of it. And if you're voting for a particular CEO or a president, whatever you want to call it, if your president say they're going to do this, that, and the other, and it don't happen, are you able to call them up? Are you able to have that conversation? Is it an open door policy? Or if we are a people, and I'm not saying we, I say other people, say they black people, and the black people vote Democrat and things don't go according to plan, can the majority of people or whoever the spokesman for those black people, are they gonna go and represent the majority and go speak to the so-called president or the CEO to say, well, why this ain't happening? And who appointed the person to be the spokesman of the misnomered black people? I don't know. See what I'm saying? And once again, it's no disrespect to no one, because it's not. Because all this boils down to when I'll be talking about reparations and civil rights and human rights. And when I say blacks would never get reparations, this all tie in to today. All this tie in to votings. Blacks would never get no reparations when they identify as something that's a slave. And the only people that ever got paid for the slave is the master. So if you Negro, black, color, or African American, listen to what I just said. That means you have and you were created by who? Your master. So why will we say, oh, we black people this and we black people and we Democrats? And I just said, according to science and law, black means death. I ain't saying black ain't proud, but I'm saying black is an adjective. Are you an adjective? And and a lot of things what we do, we just argue for the sake of arguing. We have to speak from an educational point. Here's education. When you got people that want to play games and act stupid, and I just broke down the ancient names and things and endonyms. When a person will say more mean black, no, it don't. In Spanish, no, negrito mean black in Spanish. Like, these are facts. Negrito mean black in Spanish. What? Negrito beans. It ain't no such thing as no more beans, because the adjective go in front of the what? Proper. That's why you got black or more, swarty more. You know what I mean? Brunette more. You know what I mean? I mean, these is facts. I, I'm not being biased. It's a whole history. It's a whole history in Europe. It's a whole history of politics. It's a whole history of electoral colleges. When I ask people, turn on the news and look at how it's going, and then tell me, do you understand what's going on? When you're looking at things, when you're looking at projections and things, and then it's saying, okay, if you get this many of the electoral colleges, then you projected to win. You're looking at a certain states you should win. You don't have to win every state. All you really have to do is say, man, I want to get this in this state, this and this and this and this and this, and if I hit these marks, I can project myself to win. You know what I mean? It's just like a batting average a thing. You know what I mean? When you look at those percentages, how things look. I'm just giving it as a analogy. When you can look at things and be like, okay, especially if you don't understand the electoral colleges. If you don't understand that, then it'll be real hard to really know what's going on. And then it's like certain places you will see a person might only be getting a certain percentages, but then you got to say, okay, well, if I get this, this, and that, and the other, and say I got 1 or 2% in this state, and I get, say, 3% in this state, that means I got a 1% gain. That means that's good. Because I'm only projected, I'm projecting. I'm projecting off what it is. So if I'm running now and say some states that I didn't do too great in when I ran, and I done gained those, that's even better. So now we start looking at probability. And it's just so much. And then when they be talking about projection, and if this candidate don't get this, which we call the blue block per se, then it's more probable but that the red candidate will win. You see what I'm saying? And so this is the conversations that need to be had at an earlier stage with our babies, for they can understand what's going on, for they can ask questions. And maybe if it's not in my lifetime, which I pray to Allah it do, I pray to Yahweh it do, but if it don't, I really pray that I give enough and leave enough footprints to where maybe the next generation will pick it up. And I'll be like a lot of our elders, peace be among their souls, like Dr. Ben and John Henry Clark and Ivan Van Sertima and Dr. C. Freeman L. and Dr. Ben and John Henry Clark and Sheikh Anta Diop and Amos Wilson and Dr. Francis Krause Wilson and all those before us, Frederick Douglass, hell, Martin Luther King, Brother Malcolm, Brother Hodge, all the brothers that done things, hell, the Black Hitler of Harlem, you know, Clarence X, all of them. Who else? Who else I can say? Abdul Hamid Solomon. Who else? Deuce Muhammad. Deuce Muhammad Ali. We have so many elders and things that after the flesh was gone, Marcus Garvey, that where we picked their science up. Because a prophet and an angel, always at first, their message is rejected. And it may not be in your lifetime. And that's where I had to come to the understanding where I'm okay with everything, because I saved myself. And I just give a piece of me, and I just hope my will and the Creator's will matches and everyone else, and they can take a little piece of this and do some things that's beneficial for you. You know, and do some things that's beneficial for us as a people in our lifetime. Because if the European Jew fought so hard for their European Jewish, and they not even European Jews, they Ashkenazi. These are the facts. They're books that tell you so much this, and they fought for this. Why won't you stand proud for you who you are? You in the Constitution. Man, and I all I do is give scholarship. How can I be saying anything hateful and everything I'm saying can be research in academia and scholarship? We haven't been introduced to it. The second president of Egypt, what was his name? Do anybody know? His name was Nasser. And I said this earlier. The second president, he said the reason why Israel is cursed is because God's people left black and came back white. And he was just using that as a speaking point, saying that the people of the is a certain you. Now, no disrespect to the Holocaust or nothing, but I'm just talking on speaking points because I'm gonna say this. I have a Time magazine book. Oh, and see, I don't want to show it. I might get banned again. Cause I showed the book one time. It's called Beyond Sanctuary when they hanging all the people and they showing you all the names. So, yeah, I got this Time magazine, right? And it's a lot of it's in English and German. Sprechen die Deutsch, right? And like I said, Hitler is saying in there who's the Bastard, and the Bastard is not you. He calling the no disrespect the European Jew, and I'm just saying from a speaking point a Bastard. He got pictures in there showing who's the chosen people. He got pictures in there. And so I'm not coming from disrespect. I'm just painting a picture when I say, when we use and when we hold these names that's meaningless and identify to slavery today, it shows that we haven't progressed. And it shows that we are afraid to tell the world who we are, because only free people can say who they are. I showed y'all the book, all the derogatory uses of the name and the word Negro. Now, I know what Nagas is, an ancient people of a certain area. I understand Nagas. But I'm talking about how they change things and they make a mockery of things and how words can change to the negative connotation. But I'm saying as a people, we have to be okay with being a people, being a free people, being able to sit down. And I gave y'all endonym, a name that the people of a certain place and language call themselves. The Moors, the Berbers, what you say, oh, the European name, the Berber Moors, this, okay. Well, what's the ancient names? I gave them. All through history, you will see your legacy. All through history. I can go in the Zulu to Credo Matua. Then I can go all the way dealing to Sheik Bamboo Falls, the Mordines. You know? So our history and who we are is rich, and we don't cut the cord off nobody's culture or no one's tribal heritage. It's one nationality, many cultures. And that's why when I try to speak and when I use these social media platforms, I'm not here to argue with no one. I'm here to say, if you understand my voice, then I'm talking to you. If you don't understand my voice, then I'm not talking to you. But you can't deny the information that I'm telling us as a people. And in so-called 2024, we haven't progressed. We're still afraid to be who we are. And the scriptures tell us the reason why we are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because we refuse to learn what? Who we are. That's the whole thing. We refuse to learn who we are. We refuse to be educated by our own brother and sister. We are so hard judgmental to our own. We'll use an analogy of crabs in a bucket, and crabs don't even go in the bucket. You use the analogy of a crab trying to pull each other down, but I've seen crabs in their natural habitat when they stacked all the way up and they trying to feed the one on top and eat, go all the way down to the bottom, and then simultaneously all of them make sure each one eat. I've seen that. I ain't seen no crab willingly go in no bucket and then pull another one in. I ain't never seen that. That's not natural. Well, I'm dealing with natural things. I'm not dealing with nothing that I can force and say, well, now let's see what's going to happen. Because if you put anybody into a confinement, AKA prison, what's the first thing you want to do? Get out. Who you going to fight? Who you going to be rowdy with? If that's the mind state, whoever in the bucket with you, per se. You understand? So, once again, brothers and sisters, we really have to start having a real conversation of who we are as a people and not let religion separate us, not let politics separate us, but really be able to sit down and say, okay, man, I never thought about that. I never thought about that. Let me look at this information. And at the end of the day, we should be able to walk out the door with a clear understanding, what, of who we are as what, a people. That should be number one. That should be the main priority of all this. And once you know who you are, then you won't have no problem with nothing else. Then you'll be able to identify with your culture. Because if you say the religious aspect, everyone in the biblical scripture is culture. In the Bible, the high priest wore a turban with the jewels on it. Wore they bonnet, aka kufi, wore they tunic, cotton or silk, had an earring in their ear, had this sash. Get your Hebrew lexicon. Get your Hebrew lexicon. And you will see exactly, you be like, yeah, he's manufactual of what he's saying. They're like, yep, yep. And so that's all I'm saying, man, to my brothers and sisters. I know I'm freestyling, but I just wanted to talk to the people. Like I said, I'm back in Flint, Michigan. I'm getting ready to fly back to Arizona in a couple more days. And then I'll be going to Sacramento. But like I said, man, I'll come to your city. I fly on my own dime and meet me anywhere. You got a couple people want to meet, man, put the donation together, a little change, man, I'll make it happen. I'll give everybody everything. I'll print books, documents, give it to you. I can really show not only you something, but your child too, especially when it comes to business and understanding how to set yourself up as a business and understanding the value of a dollar, understanding how to use credit and things and how to manipulate that. And it's not always about spending your cash, setting yourself up as a business young with your articles of organization, teaching you what quick 30 accounts is, registering you on a Duns and Bradstreet. So then as your business start operating on its own entity, you can put everything in your business name. That's the whole thing, that you want to be operating as a business, or most of the time, DBA, doing business as. And so it's a lot of things that's more important than us arguing about religion and semantics per se. Semantics is not wrong when we having a discussion, don't get me wrong, but when we playing a game like a what ifs and all this, and not really being reasonable, basing our understanding on things that we can prove. And what we can prove is who we are and definitely who we're not. Just like I can give some more facts. This is what I'm saying as us not being slaves. Roots, that's fake. Alex Haley plagiarized that from a European. Isn't that strange? The European name is Harold Colander. He wrote a book called The African. Isn't that strange? And the whole book is pseudo. The whole book is pseudo. Roots is all pseudo. Alex Haley got sued, talk about Kunta Kinte, all of them was his ancestors. Just straight up lie. Just like I tell y'all, the Willie Lynch, that ain't real. It ain't no Willie Lynch letter. It would have been in the Library of Congress, just like the Bill of Rights. No damn slave or slave master in first century talked about no Willie Lynch. That was propaganda from a European professor at a college. No disrespect, I'm just telling you what I know. That's facts, and nobody can deny what I'm saying. Nobody. I already done this in college, in academia. If I didn't know what I was talking about, I wouldn't have got a bachelor's degree, and I damn sure wouldn't have got to do a master's degree. They would have been saying, "Oh, this Negro coming here with this fez and this turban on in here, he a fool." No, I graduated with honors from Grand Canyon University with a dual master's degree. And everybody that know me know I'm telling the truth. But that papaya juice is pretty good. But do y'all know who won? Did they announce who won the presidential campaign yet, or is it still going? Do anybody know? Do anybody know? I know my phone will be blowing up in a minute. But yeah, family man, my whole political argument is we're not Negro, Black, and colored or African American. My whole thing that I try to tell people, we cannot have a black agenda. My whole thing, when I see brothers and sisters with Black Lives Matter shirts, it cringe, and I cringe because I ask them, who's backing this Black Lives Matter thing? And where's the finances going? Like, it's so many things. It's just like, okay. And then I go to this whole black thing. When they said that whatever the bank was giving out those minority loans for misnomer black people to get houses, how many people you know got a house through that? And where and what type of houses they get? I don't want nothing that's black and minority. Don't you understand this? Anything to me that's black or anything remind me of welfare. Remind me of Section 8. Remind me of food stamps. Remind me of cheap public housing for $50 and the girls that you might know have 10 babies just to have cheap living. That's what black remind me of cheap ass government phones. No disrespect. That's what it remind me of. Black remind me of police brutality. Of misnomer black people just marching and not basing it on no laws. Not bringing charges up federal, and on things. Not coming together and sticking together. You know what I mean? For real, family. So until we love on each other, man, we can't be saying no Black Lives Matter. We should be giving all those misnomers up. And be lawfully correct and say, well, who are we lawfully? Because we damn sure not Negro, Blacks, and colored or African Americans. All that's synonymous to slaves. Why do we want to be? And people say, well, we've been this forever, it don't matter. Or I've been called this for this. But you don't want to correct things? Because if you correct things and then when you start talking about reparations, then you can start talking about reparations. But the only reparations Negro, Blacks, and colored get, I just broke down. Welfare, cheap housing, food stamps. That's what black people get. And I'm not just talking about black people. I'm talking about anybody on government assistance. This is all I'm saying, man. Brothers and sisters, we really need to wake up. And today should be a clear example of waking up. How you have a group of people that all look alike and they'll be fighting. Like right now today, people that look the same will take each other out over a political party. It's so sad. I've seen people disrespect each other. I'm in my city of Flint. I was downtown. I've seen people that look like each other just disrespect each other to the worst today over because one was Republican and one Democrat. It's just sad. It's sad. I've seen brothers, street brothers, that say, man, F that B, she ain't qualified. And I'm like, qualified to do what? I say, well, let's see what's the qualifications to be the president, because it ain't that much. If it was a lot, Trump wouldn't be president, or wouldn't have been president or been able to run. So let's see the qualifications. So how can you say a person not qualified? I can say, I would think, I'm not saying she good or bad, because like I said, it ain't on me. I don't break law, so I ain't worried about none of that. But she damn sure not qualified. Because if she wasn't qualified, what? Clearly, she wouldn't be running, right? But I've heard misnomer black people say, man, Donald Trump a good businessman. This is what I heard. I'm just saying what I heard black people say. And I say, okay, if that's the case, brother, tell me the businesses that Donald Trump done and tell me the businesses that benefited you. I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll wait. Oh, man, Donald Trump a good businessman. Okay, what you mean? What do you mean? A good businessman for who? What else? Okay, give me something else why you vote for Donald Trump. Oh man, cause when Donald Trump was the president, he got us a PPP loan and a stimulus check. Okay, give me something else. That's two things. Give me something else. Give me something else. He pardoned a rapper. Okay, I think he did. Okay. No substance. Like I said, I ain't on neither one of them. I don't play that game. My whole thing is, one, none of that stuff mean nothing if you're not gonna vote local and state that really can affect you. If you're gonna do that, my whole fight is letting us know this is who we are as a people, number one. And when we know that, then we can really, really, really have some say so. Then you can put some money behind something. And the people really got to deal with you and come holler at you. Just like I said, look how much money Kamala raised. I think she raised $1 billion for a political party. And a lot of that money came from the misnomer sisters. I know it did. And the sorority sisters. I know it did. You know it too. And look at that 1 minute, all that money came in from volunteers, from donations for the campaign. $1 billion. $1 billion. It ain't gonna be no more schools open. $1 billion for a campaign. No more schools. No more grocery stores in your community. You got that sticker on though. You got that little stupid piece of paper. I voted, and you get on IG or Facebook or whatever social media. I voted. Let's see what happens in your community. Let's see if the streets being paved. Let's see if anything gonna be open besides some stupid ass restaurants. Look at the mall in the city of Flint, Cortland and Genesee Valley. Look at it. Everything it's a whole new world. That's why, and until we start doing business with each other, spending our money with each other, giving other people stuff back, and act like our product not good. I always use the analogy of Michael Jordan and Larry Bird. Where Larry Bird would play Michael Jordan for his Big Mac on that commercial. Now, Larry Bird didn't have a Big Mac. Michael Jordan had the Big Mac. My Big Mac is for me to eat. And then say if I beat you, what I get? What I get if I beat you? Nothing. So the analogy is this, they can't even compete. When you do that, what you're doing is you lowering yourself. Like, okay, I need to compete with this person to see are you better than them? And it's no competition. You born better. And I'm not saying that, and I'm not comparing that like that. I'm using this as a speaking point. When I'm saying that you're not nickel, black, and color, and you have all the abilities as the next man. This is what I'm saying. You have all the abilities as the next man. Why? Because you're born with it. You're born especial. You have a certain aptitude. You're born with a certain what's the vernacular? But you're born with something that's a little bit extra. You're born with a little a little bit more swag. Like the best barber in the ancient times. You think they ever went to a barber college? The person that have a sweet voice, you think they went to a singing class? The sister that was playing that guitar in the ancient time, you think she went to a guitar playing class? None. The brother that was singing all those songs that Elvis was singing, you think he had to go get trained on? Elvis had to learn off of him. These are facts, because a lot of times you're born with a lot of gifts. It's passed down. A lot of things are passed down genetically. These are facts. It's no disrespect to no one. It's no disrespect. This is what I'm telling us. Like when I say you're not Negro, black, and color, you're just as good as everyone else. And when you tell the world who you are, the world don't have a problem because it's in the Constitution. At one point, they said misnomer black men weren't even smart enough to play quarterback in the NFL. They said the misnomer black man couldn't even use his freaking brain. Said Rodney Jones. Rodney Johns. Yeah. I said, what type of crazy stuff is this? You see? I don't be coming for no slander to no one. I be trying to bring stuff to my brothers and sisters to say, never thought about that. This makes sense. Yeah, we should be doing this. That's why I be telling people know me. And I said, how can I do business with other people in life and we walk past and we don't do business and we don't bother and we ain't calling each other and getting on each other's nerves per se, in a good way. How? Getting the information. The information is valuable, especially collectively. This is what I try to tell my brothers and sisters about what's going on in the world. It's very important to know who you are. The world has no problem with you knowing who you are. The world has no problem. It's there. It's valid. They're just waiting for us to stand up. You know? This all I be saying. You can't identify as Negro, black, and color and say it don't matter. It do. Yes, it do. I'm telling you, it matter a lot. And so I hope we get to the point, y'all, that we can talk freely and we be okay about these things, because remember, blacks have no rights according to law. So when you start talking about black this and black that, man, like, you really have to be thinking, you really have to start thinking in your mind, like, okay, well, what's going on with this person? Like really, what's your motive? Because you can't be that off today. Now I can understand not in today, especially if you've been following me, especially if you know me, especially if you've been following my journey. Like, we fighting against ourselves, and that's what the world wants us to do, because we won't jump behind a mission. We will argue all day. We all ain't, no, we all ain't Moors. This was I saw this, and this was and like I say, I don't want to say names because people be like, man, you be knowing, how you be knowing all this? Because I be everywhere. You might not even see me, but I be there, damn it. But especially, here, this is what a brother said. I saw on the media when the brother was talking to Moors and we Moors and this, and that, and the other. Here it is, the brother, a rapping dude, or used to be an ex-rapper and all this, and he's talking about, no, we ain't. We Hebrew Israelites. And I said, how? A Hebrew Israelite is an oxymoron. That ain't no disrespect. I ask anybody, do you know what the etymology of Hebrew mean? No, Hebrew is just part in the water, part in the sea. So you can't be a Hebrew Israelite. And now we're talking about pertaining to science and law. I said pertaining to science and law. I didn't say pertaining to the Bible. I'm saying pertaining to science and law, we have to agree on something lawfully today. Not in nobody religious world. Not nobody religious mind. But lawfully. I get certain things. Don't get me wrong. When the person say, well, have you ever heard about the free Hebrews of the Israel, that Hebrew Hill? Yeah, I heard about that. Yes, I did. Yes, I thought about the free Hebrews. Yes, I've heard. I sure did. And, definitely understood who they were as free men. Definitely did. I'm talking about on paper today, when you can go to any city hall, especially if you in Flint, Chicago, Sacramento, anywhere. In 2012, they signed the Declaration Proclamation that we have the right to annex our L or Bay, that we are Moorish Americans, that we have Moorish American Day on the Prophet birthday, and we have certain holidays and bylaws. These is facts. In the city of Flint, the Moorish Science Temple of America is one of the oldest spiritual houses and religious houses in the city of Flint. The Moorish Science Temple of America on Martin Luther King Avenue. These is facts. And so when I talk about things, y'all, as I close, when you hear a Moor that just be radical with all that crazy sovereign citizen stuff with the oxymoron and saying Moors don't do this and Moors don't do this, man, Moorish science is for the family. I tell you, I would instruct you on how to do things. Just like, for instance, the census. It was a big discussion about filling out the census when it come every 10 years. And the person say, I heard a old person say that off the battlefield, I will do this, and we don't do this, and we don't do this. And I said, well, why? Tell me why. If we're a nation in laws, tell me why. You telling me we don't do it, tell me why. When a person can't tell you why just because, man, shut up. And ain't no man finna just tell me just because. Man, you better shut the hell up talking to me. You can't explain stuff and then it don't make sense. And it's not just, you ain't just finna tell me nothing just because, fool. And it ain't benefiting me or it ain't benefiting the body at all. We just not gonna do something. So we're not gonna participate in the affairs of men. Cause I'm down with reparations. I just know Negro, Black, or color, or African Americans will never get reparations. So we can't promulgate no black stuff. If we all down with reparations, if you down with Black Lives Matter and reparations, then you can't be down with no Black Lives Matter stuff. That's what I'm telling you. If right now today, if you down with reparations and you say reparations now, you can't be down with no Black Lives Matter movement. You cannot be. Why? Because blacks is never going to get no reparations. I don't give a damn if you hire Ben Crump. Y'all know who Ben Crump is, don't you? And he'll take your money. He'll take your money and go through all the litigation, do all the video commercial, everything. He'll do all the litigation because he know after everything, after he exhausts the money, it's a wrap. And it's gonna be the same thing. What? L. Why? Because you identifying as a Negro, Black, or color, or African American. This is the law. These is facts. So I'm down with reparations too. Yeah, if somebody wants to say, yeah, reparations now. But I'm telling you, the Black Lives Matter Negro would never, ever, 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 ever get no reparations. Never in life. Nobody. Never. Because according to science and law, black mean deaf. And this ain't like in the military when compensation is for people that been in prison unjust. Come on, y'all. Y'all got to know this. That's why I be saying, man, come on, man. y'all know this. Y'all know this real. I'm just having a good time tonight, man. Having this conversation with my brothers and sisters about what's going on in the world and who we are. Let's see if I got a little bit more time. I'm gonna work out again. I'm gonna do my last workout for the night. I usually do 2 a days. But that's what I be asking my brothers and sisters. I tell them I'm down with reparations. But when any brother talking that black stuff, you're not getting no reparations. Because black has no standing in law. It's civil mortis. And according to science and law, black means death. So how can Black Lives Matter and you say reparations now in the same sentence? How? Can anybody make that make sense? Can anybody because the only people that got paid for black people, African American Negroes, which is synonymous to slaves, is their slave master. So when you say reparations, when Black Lives Matter and reparations now for the black person or the black slave, the only people that's going to get paid for you is the person that created you. Then the European, the Albert, the trailer dyke is going to come up and say, man, well, you written in my chattel as slavery. Everything that you have is going to go to your master. It's written in the black Christian codes, the black codes. See, these is facts. So, once again, I'm down with reparations. It can be a whole panel of brothers and sisters here with that reparations now movement. And I say, yes, I'm with it too. But then as soon as they start talking that Black Lives Matter and they black and they proud, I say, oh, you done messed up. Now y'all just operating off emotion. We got to put our emotions and feelings aside. We got to put that stupid stuff aside. We can't take this into the court of law, into the arena of law. We can't volley. We don't have no ammunition. We coming in as a default. What we coming in? As a slave with no rights. We're going to be abused. All we have is our civil rights, something that somebody gave you. But you got to understand civil rights got to come from something else. This is what a lot of misnomer brothers don't understand when we keep this black stuff. It's a sad day. And then look on the flip side of how brothers is crazy as hell. Then they talk that old black stuff, pro-black stuff, and then they vote for Donald Trump instead of don't vote for the black Democrat. These Negroes will vote for Donald Trump and say the reason why they voted for Donald Trump is because they got the PPP loan and you got some change doing the stimulus check. And I say today, is your life different? And they say, man, they was getting money when Donald Trump was in office. And I say, what was you doing when Donald Trump was in office? You wasn't no CEO or nothing. You was the same Negro that you was, working at wherever you was working at. You wasn't making no more money when Donald Trump was in office, unless your damn job gave your ass some change, a raise. When I say change, a couple dollars a raise hourly. Ain't nobody making no more money, or gas was cheaper. So what? Give a damn about that? This is what I'm saying, how we'll just fight each other. We won't even have a common denominator as a people. We won't jump behind our brother and sister. We'll stay away. It's sad, man. Like my homie said, how long you done been in Flint? I done been in my city of Flint, damn going on 2 weeks. I grew up with people. It's people I love. I come home, I don't be seeing none of my people. Them Negroes don't call or nothing. And I said, what have we came to? As brothers and sisters, the only time we gonna see each other is when we die. That's why I said the world is a messed up world we live in. We have to really love on each other. And that's what this more science teach us. It teaches us to be proud who we are. Brothers be wanting to be something and submit to something that somebody took from you and then throw back in your face and call it Freemasonry. This is what Negroes be wanting to be. They be wanting to be something that I can give to you because I have the keys. And it ain't secret with me, it's sacred. I anoint all my brothers in the wisdom. It ain't nothing that a Freemason that can teach you or anything that I can't illuminate a million times and take you to the third heaven. It ain't nothing that a snowman can teach you that I definitely can't teach you with my eyes and hands tied behind my damn back. And it ain't nothing that a snowman can teach you. Because in meteorology, that's when water freezes. So it ain't nothing that a snowman can teach you. Because they're going to play a game anyway. And these is facts. So once again, that's why I be saying we lost, because these brothers that call themselves black Masons, black this and black this. I'm going back to this whole black perspective. We got to let it go. And when people say, well, what we call ourselves, well, we are Moorish Americans. To be current. And when we fill things out there, just like when I tell misnomer of black people, when you fill out a form for your job and they got all the different ethnicities on there, this is what I ask misnomer of black people, what do you fill out? The average black person, they fill out African American or this, and then some people that think they smart, they'll make a box and check other. Well, then you just voted the whole document out. I'm telling you, you own that piece of paper and you don't even know how to fill it out, because you haven't took the time just to be like, read it. And whatever you read, if you haven't looked at it with a clear eye, you're going to miss everything that I'm telling you. And if you understand how to read and understand words have synonyms, and this word may mean this and this and that and the other, and if you ain't pieced it together or ask no questions, then that's the problem with us. We don't have that chance to sit down and cipher, because it's nothing new. It's nothing hidden. And I tell you, you right on that document. It says it clearly, right on there. And that's why I said we are in the Constitution if you know how to read. If you know how to read, we in the Constitution. We don't have to overthrow no government. We don't have to create nothing new. None of that shit. It ain't no secret documents that gonna get no Negro out of jail. That Zodiac law or this something, all that stuff is fraudulent. Fraudulent ain't no piece of ID that you done met some goofy Negro online that's gonna get you out of jail. That ID don't mean poo damn diddly. Can't nobody on no internet print you some damn ID that means something. Only thing it can be unless they created schools like I have done. And all my Moorish American members' ID just identify who they are. It don't replace nothing. It's their membership ID from their temple. It's their ID saying who they are, annexing their elevate to their name. The right, because the religious laws trump everything. That's what I'm telling us. We do things lawfully. And when you identify as a Negro, black, and colored today, that's just not common sense lawfully. It's just not common sense. If you don't know the true history of Noble Drew Ali was before all these characters that you can think of. Farrakhan, all of them. Elijah Poole Bey, all of them. The Prophet. Fire Muhammad, it was the Prophet. Noble Drew Ali. That taught us nationality, and we're not Negro, black, and colored. They gave us the understanding of who we are. These is facts. So I'm out of here, man. I've been on here for a minute. I'm about to go smash. I love y'all. I hope y'all have an amazing day. No matter who you voted for, I hope you understand what you're doing. And I hope you understand the law and policy of what you're voting for. And I hope you know the agenda of the person that you voted for. And all my brothers that have voted Republican, I hope you know why you voted Republican. You voted for Donald Trump. Let's see how the world gonna be. You think something gonna change because you say Donald Trump is a great businessman? We gonna see. Because I don't really think brothers really study or read nothing to even really understand what's going on in this political arena. I think Negroes just be talking about what they see on commercials. Or Kamala lock black people up. Okay, well, if you in the same position, you're gonna lock some black people up, some of these people, and then if the majority of people you're dealing with say is a certain demographic, then maybe that's gonna be the majority of people you lock up. I'm not making no excuse for her. I'm just saying what it is. This is what I be telling my brothers. We have to get out of that. I know a lot of people, black misnomer black men, voted for Trump because they don't want to vote. They ain't want to vote for no woman. I know that I've heard that saying that I ain't vote for no woman, but it's a lot of countries that have women heads of states. If you research it, I just know the average Negro don't read nothing, and it's no disrespect to nobody on this platform. I'm not. If I'm not talking to you, then it's over your head. But I know the average Negro ain't read nothing, and they're gonna take the time to do it. You know, and so I love y'all, man. Y'all have a good night. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow, and we'll have a good conversation after we see who done say potentially gonna win this political race. Cause I know they haven't. I don't think they came with a winner, but I kind of see who's winning based on the electoral college votes, and then we'll have a good conversation tomorrow, and we'll see if anybody log on or have anything to say about why they voted for a particular individual and the agenda that swayed them to vote. So if everybody voted, what was the agenda that swayed you to be Democrat, and what's the agenda that swayed you to be Republican for my misnomer black people? And then the next thing, I'm down with reparations. My question is, are you down with reparations? And if you are down with reparations, are you down with Black Lives Matter? And if you say yes, you down with Black Lives Matter, then I'm gonna say, well, really, then you really at a default because you can't be down with Black Lives Matter and reparations because Negro, blacks, and color and African Americans is synonymous to slaves. And the only people that ever got paid for slaves is the owner. So blacks will never get reparations. According to science and law, black is silver mortis. So I want us to think about these things as we're talking about this political discussion and this political voting that's going on and all other aspects on that ballot. Because there's more than just the president on that ballot. It's a lot of things. And so we're going to talk about some law and policy. We're going to talk about different positions that's being took over, Republican and Democrat, and we'll have a good conversation. And we'll see, do the average brother and sister that'll jump on here with a "I voted" on their shirt, do they know anything about what they voted for? Or did they just vote? That's the conversation I want to have with my brothers and sisters to see why you voted for Trump, especially a lot of my brothers, and say why. Or my people that think they black, why you said this, well, we black, and then don't understand that according to science and law, black means death, and all those things, and really have a conversation to really do things the right way and move forward as a people. So once again, man, I love everyone, man, and thank y'all for taking time out y'all day, listening to little old me. Be safe. Tell someone that you love them today. And once again, man, you're not Negro, black, colored, African American. All those are misnomers. And remember, the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15, you have a right of a nationality and a right to change it. And no one will be arbitrarily denied of a nationality and a right to change it. And the claim of child replaces the birth certificate. Look up the SF 181 form pertaining to ethnicity. Look up the House Joint Resolution 75. Look up the Yamanese law. And look up the 13th, the 14th, the 15th Amendment. Look up manumissions. Look up the Wilmington's white man's constitution. How those Europeans, I think that was in South Carolina, and how they came together and kicked all Negroes, blacks, African Americans out their city and state. And you still want to identify as a Negro, black, a color, or a slave and don't know and let people say, well, more mean this and this, that, and the other, and then not dealing with somebody that can give you some history. We're not stripping no one from their culture. So once again, I love y'all, man. Peace, light, and illumination.